Welcome to POUSE out of the house. I'm currently overlooking the River Usk. That thing was all flooded out the other day. As you can see on that field there, that is a floodplain, and the water was right the way up to that bush by those houses. Absolutely massive tide the other day. We're off for a quick blip on a 701 today. This is, oh god, fourth ride out on this. The weather has been abysmal. Bought the bike in December. It's now March. I don't know if you can see that building in front of us. That is Killeen College, and they've knocked the whole thing down except for that. I think it's a listed building, and if any of you have watched a series on Netflix called Sex Education, that is where it was filmed. So that building I'm going to look at now, if you look back up there, see all that old house and that old building? That is where all the scene took place, around the school, or the high school that they're all in. And then there's other places that you'll see me riding around in my other videos, around by the River Wye and places like Simmons Yacht. And that is basically where they filmed a lot of the stuff, like the house. Who's the woman out of the X-Files? Gillian Anderson, where she lives, whatever her character name is, I can't remember that either. I'm getting too old now. The old brain doesn't work anymore. And we're going to go past the entrance to it now, so I'll show you. They're building, basically, as they always do everywhere, a whole load of new houses. You can see that's the old building where they filmed it, and like I said, they knocked down all the new building. There's lots of facilities up there. They're pretty good, actually, sports facilities, all down, as you can imagine. Redrow bought it, and there we go. But they have had to keep that old building, so I don't know what they're doing with that, whether there's going to be flats or what, but all this is like a new road they've put in. So that's completely changed, but there we go. A little bit of pointless trivia for you. I rode down this road on my very ever first motovlog, the first video that I released on this channel, and I was using a different microphone then. Following that, I did a test on that microphone, like a review, and that was the AGP Tech, I think it was called, lavalier microphone, and you hear it cracking and popping. I don't know if some people missed the point with that video, because in the video I sort of I explain how at the end of the video, you know, it's not for me, like it's okay to a certain speed, but it's not going to be the one for me. And I've had some people say, great review, thanks, I've just ordered one. I was thinking, you've missed the point of the video. I mentioned on this bike before, right, we're doing 30 miles an hour now in third gear, and that's okay. If you drop anything below about 30 in third, it just doesn't like it. You've got to go to second, and then in second it's alright. But if you're doing about 25 in second, it's kind of on the rev where it wants to go. Got to change quick. You'll hear me change quick. Why is he doing that? I'm running the engine in. I'm still running it in. Now, since I was last on the bike, I bought this little mirror. This one here, I don't know if you can see that. And it's not actually a motorbike mirror, it's a mountain bike mirror. Well, that's what they're sold for anyway. I can't remember the brand of it, but I'll put a link to that mirror in the description section below if any of you are interested. And the reason I put that on the bike is I've replaced my mirrors. I've got on here now these stealth mirrors there. When I took the other mirrors off, I suddenly realised that when my light is flashing on the GoPro to let me know that it's turned on and off, I used to use the mirrors, so I would look by there in front of me. Problem is to see this filming when you're riding, you need to see the LED, so I leave the front LED on. I came up with this little plan. If I put that there and face it at me, look, you can see straight in there. So all I have to do is a quick look down like that, and I'm not squatting down and hanging off the side of the bike to try and make it work. Now, I just mentioned the stealth mirrors. Just to let you know, I've actually done another video on those, unboxing them, giving you a little bit of an overview of them and how to fit them to the bike. A link to that video will pop up on the screen now, and I'll put a link to that video in the description section below if any of you are interested. And also don't forget my other mods. I've put on the front crash pads, rear crash pads, skid plate, like I just mentioned, the stealth mirrors, and I've put on the genuine or OEM Husqvarna tail tidy. They actually call it a plate holder, but it is effectively a tail tidy, but it is the genuine Husqvarna one. Anyway, I'm going to try and head for somewhere up towards Abergavenny now. I mean, I could drive up to the Sugar Loaf. That's right in front of us over there. As you may or may not have seen on the signs, we are in Abergavenny. I don't know why I've come through the town centre. I guess I just fancied a change. Let's go left. Busy today, minding it. 20 everywhere now, and I'm not just saying this, it's hard. Like, look, second, right? There, that's 20, but the bike is Juddering. So I'm heading up now to the Sugar Loaf. A bit more fun. I'm only doing 30 up here, but when you get on a supermoto, these are the lanes that are enjoyable, you know, when you're bouncing around. So there she is, what a beauty. Getting it dirty. I washed that last time I went out. I was hoping not to get it dirty today. To clean it again. You can see there, tail tidy I was talking about. That is the standard factory Husqvarna tail tidy that I fitted there. I made a few modifications. And you can see this plate. I showed this in another video when I fitted it, but this sort of plate came with it and I cut it down. If you look there, I use an angle grinder or disc cutter. I use a metal cutting disc and I grind it to a nice little shape to fit perfectly. Wedge a reflector here that came with it through these holes, fitted perfectly. And then this plate that Big POUSE got me, actually, I fitted through with some screws. I did have to bow it slightly because underneath here you've got the 4 original stainless steel screws to hold this sort of plate that came with it to this, which is a bit of a weird design really. You'd think they'd be panhead or countersunk ones, but they're not. So I've sort of screwed that tight to it and it's bowed the plate slightly, but I don't care. Looks pretty good, I think. Took about an hour, I suppose, start to finish. We've got this little mirror I told you about that I've added. Just a quick release strap, that's so I can see the GoPro. Got my skid plate down there, aluminium skid plate. That looks pretty smart, I think. That's going to protect the engine. And then we've got my front crash pads, rear crash pads. I don't think that was such a good idea, was it? I positioned that so I could take a nice photo. I'm going to state on that stand now. You silly Wally Pousey. I think I'm going to have to factor in today, unfortunately, 30 minutes to give this bike a quick wash when I get home as well, because, well, because I got it dirty, that's why. Better wait, you f***ing idiot. Sugar Loaf Vineyard. Oh, right, okay. Right, I know exactly where I am now, then. Oh, you dirty bag. Oh, that wasn't good. Do you know what? I bet I haven't got any tissue on me either. All over the GoPro. Unbelievable. That bird just flew out. Look at that. I want you to see this. Can you see that? Look at the state on that. That bird just flew out of nowhere. I think he panicked. He just shit himself, literally. Well, he didn't shit himself. He shit all over me. I'm going to clean this off. I usually carry wipes in this bag, right? Always do. With the kids, wipes everywhere. Get anything off. Do you know what? I think I've left them at home today. Right, I'm going to turn this off in a minute. But as you can see on that camera, I can't put my finger on the button. So I'll get it covered in shit. Anyway, I'll be back with you in a minute. Oh, dirty. Basically, bird shit all over me. No wipes. Found a bit of manky old tissue in my pocket. Managed to spit on that and wipe it off my helmet. Then I go for wiping off the glove. Then I noticed it was all over my coat. I cleaned the coat. Next thing, my zip on my coat breaks. So I can't do that up. I managed to get that back up now, but it's, you know, undoing from the bottom, you know, when you're like Batman. And a damn thing won't close, but if that won't close, I haven't got a waterproof jacket. That's all I've got with me today. So, lesson learned. Keep the wipes in the bag. Housey. Sugar Loaf car part. This is the one we want. The only thing with these tyres, once they get in a groove, you don't have that traction of the off-road tyres. So rather than pulling you out, you find it hits a groove and you kind of wriggle around. And sometimes it's pretty, you know, it feels a bit dicey, like when you've got a big drop to your left and your front wheel gets caught. The back's not so bad because it slides around. When the front one gets in, you don't want to move abruptly, because what you find is if you do, it slides. They're great on the road on a warm day on tarmac, and they do an alright job on this stuff as well. But sometimes you sort of think, I wonder if those, I've seen, is it Dunlop or Michelin, the Mutants? A lot of people say about those, and they got a bit of a groove up them, you know, so they just sort of allow you, if you do a bit of off-road, they allow that grit and water to move through the tyre. Look at that. I would say it's going to rain soon. That's just my gut feeling, but I might be wrong. Okay, let's make our way home then. The one thing that's sort of, it's not annoying, but you'd think it'd be improved, is the dash on this. It's very basic. You've got to press the button up or down to change the screen, so you can only have one screen on a time. So basically it shows you your miles per hour all the time. If you change the settings, you can go from, you know, your RPM, revs per minute. It's got 2 trips. You've got the odometer, which is, you know, your overall mileage. He looked worn out, didn't he? So the other thing was the clock. You can have the clock and the time on there. Personally, my preference is I like to know my revs would be good, especially on this as I'm running it in. I'd like to have the clock so I know the time all the time, and I would like obviously your mileage and odometer. Alright, skipping and out of that is no problem, but I wouldn't mind that on the screen as well. So if they could do some interface that would be a bit bigger, it'd be nice. So I'm just heading up to a place you've seen me before, Keeper's Pond. I was just at the Sugar Loaf, which is that flat one over there, and I was in the car park right opposite. So literally right over there is where I was, on the other side of that valley. So I've sort of driven down the valley, across it, and back up the other side. My bike is filthy. I'm gonna have to go back and wash it now. Oh, I love this bike. I love it. Let's say DRZ on steroids. The temperature has dropped significantly. The sun's just gone in. It's bloody freezing. That's unbelievable. Just for reference, it's March 23rd. I think today, I'll tell you how I know it's the 23rd. This is sad, because I know that I got a chicken that goes off in 2 days on the 25th in the fridge. There we are. That's the kind of life I lead these days. Oh look, there's a beautiful rainbow over there. I'm going to knock it on the head because I guarantee that battery's going to die in a minute, and it's probably going to hammer down with rain, and I'm just going to be effing and blinding, and nobody wants to listen to me moaning today, although that is pretty much what this channel is. It's me moaning on a motorbike. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you're interested in any of the products or the tools that I use to film the video, or even my gear that I wear, I'll put links to all of those in the description section below. If you're interested in DIY, you can head over to my other channel, POUSE Around the House. Watch, like, share, subscribe. And finally, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to this channel and press that bell icon for regular notifications. I've been POUSE out of the house. Ta-ta, farewell.